So what up, what up? My name is Lil Santonio. Welcome to a very special edition of No Sleeping in the Trophy Room. And I'm here with a very special friend of mine, my good brother, owner and founder of Sweet Chick, NYC and LA, John Seymour. John, what's going on, my brother? How are you?
Man, it's great to see you, man. I wish it was in person over some chicken and waffles, you know?
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get to that.
We'll get there very soon. Very soon. First and foremost, John, how are you and the family?
I mean, we're all great, man. You know, it's just a bugged out situation. I mean, currently right now I'm in New York. The streets are quiet. It's, we're still allowed, for the time being, we're allowed out of our houses. I just took my kids to the park. We're just kind of keeping it low key.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses globally around the world is hurt right now. So there's just a lot of questions and we're trying to find out all the answers. So I'm glued to the news and just glued to speaking to my family and, my coworkers and all the people that are down with us at Sweet Chick.
Absolutely. Now, just to get into that, how exactly has all of this coronavirus, stuff affected you and your family over at Sweet Chick?
So, off the jump, there was a lot of fear. And then Governor Cuomo shut down, in the restaurant industry, he has shut down 50% of seating capacity. So we quickly moved into a 25 seat. We removed seats and we're like, let's just keep it at 25 seats across the board at all locations. Right. So we just removed seats. Pretty much that night, 5-0 rolled up into the spot in Williamsburg and into Long Island City to check our seating. So we were like, okay, so this is real.
Right.
You could tell it felt real. And then I think about, I think it was like a 2 or 3 day window of that. Then we got the news that all restaurants were to shut down operations. You could allow for delivery option or pickup. So all seated places. So now that's also like, in that whole time frame, all retail stores were also closing and people weren't coming in. So it was like businesses, storefront facing businesses were all shutting down. So we were faced with the dilemma of, in my business in particular, payroll is a large chunk of it. And I don't think people really understand what the restaurant industry and what the restaurant industry is going through. My father was a bartender in New York City. My parents are both immigrants. My mother was a healthcare worker. She's a nurse. So I feel for what's going on in the world at the moment. And myself, I was also, a bartender, growing up and in later life as well. So I really understand, but, the restaurant business, it's like they can't function and they can't support a large payroll like that for an extended amount of time. And we don't know how long this is going to go. So there's just a lot of questions. And when we bring it back to, the Sweet Chick family, the people that work for the company, from the people that are, washing dishes to the bussers, you know what I'm saying? I used to be a busboy down at South Street Seaport when I was 15 years old. Right. So I know the vibe, and it's not easy because for a company like me, for example, just in-store people alone is like $120,000 a week that floats my payroll. Plus I have healthcare on top of that. So we were all faced with a lot of tough decisions. It seems as if though the city is shutting down. Cuomo, our governor, I think he's doing a great job. Right now, I don't really know all his policies in general, but as far as I'm concerned, he seems like he's leading this better than maybe the people at the top of the food chain are really leading it. You can catch my drift. But they're kind of, there's a moratorium right now on leases and rent for commercial businesses and for residential, also on mortgages. So like basically what it looks like to me is that the world is shutting down. We're going to kind of take this on and we're going to move past this and everybody's going to come back to life like we didn't skip a beat. Like I said, I was just in the park and in New York. I was here for 9/11. It was, I was an electrician in Queens at the time. That's what I was doing for a living. And I went down there to volunteer and it was too many people to volunteer. So they had actually turned me around because I was like, listen, I have a trade. I can maybe help out. New York City was wild and people came together. Right now, I think we're in a situation, man, that I've never seen something like this before. And no one has. This is a global problem. And I think the beauty in that is like, I go to the park, I'm over the park and I'm hanging out and there's a bunch of dudes out there doing pull-ups on the pull-up bars, including myself. You know,
Right.
my kids, we're keeping it very, very clean, and I'm not, we're not playing on stuff and being very careful because it is, it's something's happening out there and it's real.
Mm-hmm.
But people are coming together, man. You know, I talked to a guy on the bench, and you know what it was? It was, can't stop, won't stop, man. This is New York,
Yeah.
and I feel that energy, especially from a lot of people. I was talking to a guy by the bars today, and it's like New Yorkers are a special type of person, and I think me seeing it here right now, people are coming together, and I think it's an opportunity for the world to come together. I think we're going to get through this. I think it's going to be something that propels us into a life that is better than it was 2 weeks ago. And that's just kind of how I believe. I think, a lot of people are scared out there,
Yeah. I agree.
that was a lot, but
No, it's real, man. And I commend you because before things shut down in the city, I saw something that you were doing, with your delivery service that you were including like groceries, or like there was like an additional offering.
Yeah. So everything was minute to minute, hour to hour, So, and then so basically what we did was we said, okay, cool, let's shut down. And in my mind, I said, all right, listen. People are getting laid off. The entire industry is getting laid off. I looked at some of my people that I look to in the restaurant industry as like OGs. There's like the Tom Colicchios and Danny Myers. So I got to look at what these guys are doing as well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the company is the priority, so that when this is all said and done, the company can still reopen and all those jobs will still be there. And it seems like the government's doing the right thing. But my first initial concern was, there was a lot of concern for public school kids without food. Which I didn't realize was really as big of an issue as they were making it out to be. So I said, okay, cool, let's figure out how do we do some free lunches. If need be, and we need to be the spot to do that, let's be able to do that. So, I spoke with my chef and my team. I said, cool, let's line that up. And then let's do delivery and let's keep people working. Because my staff was extremely, the feedback that I was getting is that a lot of people were worried about where they were going to get their next dollar from, right? And sure, and we all know, and even rich people that we know are still living paycheck to paycheck, because that's just sometimes how people live. And it's not my question, not my job as a CEO to ask these people what, how their living situation, how many children they're taking care of. I just want to make sure that if I have the opportunity to provide the job at the time that this is going on, that I can do that. So that's what we did. I wanted to keep people working. And then I went into the shops, and I spoke with some of the people that were working. And a lot of these people are maybe people that really need to support family at home, grandparents, children. I don't really know, but I did have conversations with people and just say, something serious going on, because I was also concerned for their safety.
Right.
And I said, we don't have to stay open. It's like, I only want to stay open if you guys are down to come in and do this. That way we can generate some income, even though we were going to lose money as a company, probably. At least we can start paying some people that really need to be paid and give that opportunity. But people were scared. So, the feedback I started to get was like, they weren't sure if they wanted to come to work. So as soon as I really heard that, I said, let's shut it down.
Yeah.
And then let's play it by ear. So we've been kind of reaching out to public officials and things like that. And collectively, the restaurant industry, especially the people at the top, have been really stepping up to kind of make sure that their crew and the people that we take care of or build jobs for are still going to have a job when they get back and are going to be okay and be able to put food on the table now. So we ended up we made grocery packages as well. That's what we were trying to do for the delivery service, but we ended up giving all those grocery packages to our entire staff. So we've been having them come in, pick up. One of my GMs just texted me. They were like, yo, we have a box here for you, aside. And I just, I didn't even think about my own box, but I'm like, I'll be fine. I'm not tripping. I just make sure everybody got food. If anybody has any issues or problems, my phone is open for them. And that's just what it is. I think people are coming together, man. And we talked about before we jumped on this, and it really is about positivity, man. And I think people need to feel that. And I think people need to know that people care. And our government needs to know that we need them to show that they care. And there's some drastic measures being taken place, things that I never would have thought could have ever happened. So now let's hope we get to the top guy in charge and make sure that he understands that he has to do the right thing. and take care of people, man. And it's not about money, and it's about, you know, the economy. It's a very complex thing. I can't claim to understand it. The stock markets, the airline, the bailouts for the big guys, but you know, this is the time where everybody needs to come together and just do the right thing. And hopefully, like I said, I believe on the other side of this, we'll all be better for it, you know?
Absolutely. So. And, you know, it's just amazing to see communities come together, you know, like the whole restaurant community, New York City as a community.
Yeah, man.
And coming together to, more importantly, you know, do the right thing and care for others and make sure everybody's all right. Because at the end of the day, you know, to your point, you know, the goal is to get out of this, you know, together, stronger, better, you know?
Yep, exactly, man.
So, you know, when you see all the responses, there's obviously an influx of information being, you know, passed around, and you see, you know, it's minute by minute, hour by hour. You know, how do you feel about some of the reactions to when you see people in the grocery stores kind of like going crazy, or
I mean,
you know, some of the extreme responses? How do you feel about some of that?
I mean, I think people need to chill. You know, I get it that you got to take care of your family, but I don't know. Also, like, stop and think a little bit. You know, my first thought when I saw people fighting over toilet paper was like, for real, that's the thing that you guys are most concerned about. Like, last time I checked, there's a shower next to most toilets in every house. So worst case scenario, you jump in there and you know, and do what you have to do. Like, let's stop. Let's think. Let's make sure we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
This camera got messed up there, but you know, I think it's understandable that people are gonna panic, and it's understandable that, you know, these things are gonna happen. But like, we have to find, you know, you have to keep a positive mental attitude, man, in life, man, in general. You want to get ahead, if you want to succeed, if you want to like live any type of life that I believe is something that, you know, most people are trying to achieve, you have to help your fellow person. You know, when you can, check on yourself first. I'm all for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, check your family, make sure the people that are close to you. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm checking in on my friends and my family and making sure everybody's good. But, you know, you got to chill, man, and understand that everybody else is going through stuff too. I mean, I saw crazy videos out there, man, of like a woman, you know, setting it on like an older woman, like an old woman. I was just like, this is crazy, man. Come on, what are we doing as humanity? Let's figure this out, man.
Yeah, no, and it's wild because it's almost like we have to see some of the extreme stuff to know where we're at with it, and to know, like, you know, once all this is over, it's like, you know, there's gonna be a lot of love in the air, a lot of support, man. So it's like, I agree. You know, sometimes this thing brings out the worst in situations, but, you know, it also brings out the best. So I guess we just got to.
I agree, man. And like I said, I've been seeing it, man. You know, it's funny, man, and you know, it's that, you know, I think a lot of New Yorkers naturally have it. So maybe I see it, and I feel like we've been through some kind of like things with the 9/11. People that have been here have seen that, and they know what that's like. And like I said, man, it's that attitude. Can't stop, won't stop, man. We're gonna keep pushing forward no matter what it is. But be smart. Yeah. Be smart. You know, apparently, you know, like, watch the news. You know, I'm glued to CNN right now. You know, and in the offseason, it's interesting too, as a community that you know, like, we're in a certain specific community, and like a guy like me who, you know, I have 300 plus employees. I'm not really paying attention to the news that much because it's a lot of garbage, man, and a lot of stuff that I'm just like, man, come on. But it just goes to show that, like, you know, I think when people get involved, they can make things change and make things happen. So I think as like a community, and like the community even we're in, I think we need to get more involved in like what's going on in the world, and just, you know, try and find ways that, you know, this is America, and I love America. Like, I love the America that I want it to be, where like people, you know, like my parents are immigrants, and they came here and try to create a better life, and I'm all for that. But you also got to look out for the next man or the next woman or the next people or children around you, and check in on people. And you can't just forget about people. And we need to be better at that as a country. And I think, you know, we know a lot of people, man. And like, I think if we start even having that mentality around people, you know, I think we can create some change as well, and only for the better. Yeah, I agree. You know, I was talking with my girl earlier, and we were saying just how, you know, this is going to spark a lot of minds to be tuned in that weren't previously
So things like this, you know, a lot of people will be tuned in, and, you know, hopefully that will just turn into a lot more people that would be that much more active and aware of how to create change, and not only create it, but like, you know, for years after. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna wake a lot of people up to what's going on in the world, and the problems that we had, and the things we took for granted, and the things that, you know, we think can be better. And I think it's gonna wake a lot of people up.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to better days. You know, I think it's gonna be a little bit of a rough road for a little bit. You know, again, for me, my priorities are my people that are around my company, their health and well-being, and making sure people are fed and got a roof over their head. And I'm going to try to do what I can. And also, you know, just getting ready to bounce back, man, because the bounce back is going to be real.
Absolutely.
I already know, like day one, I said, man, if I'm shutting this down, you know, when I open it, man, forget it. I got to do something crazy.
That's right. That's right.
I want to go hard, man. So, you know.
Mine is set back for a major.
I'll send you an invite, man. We'll figure something, you know.
For real. So, you know, John, you know, we're spending a lot of time in the house, obviously, you know, with all the quarantine going on. What are some of your quarantine essentials? Things that you need when you're indoors, whether it's music, movies, like what's some of that?
I mean, definitely, man. We definitely need all these streaming services to not give up on us, man. We need to watch these movies. I watched Paid in Full the other night.
Classic.
Classic. I watched an amazing movie last night with I don't even know the name of it. It was called Bombshell, man, with women that work for Fox News, like Charlize Theron and
wow.
Man, I was like, wow, this was.
I can check that out.
Yo, it was like super about politics and like, oh man, it's bugged out. But yeah, music, man. I mean, the kind of soundtrack to my house right now, and before this and previous to this, my kids they say, Alexa, play "Believe" by Meek Mill. So they love that, you know. Oh, I gotta tell Alexa to turn it off now, actually. Alexa off. You know, I was listening to the J Electronica album, man. I'm trying to, like, you know, there's a lot going on. So like that album is an album that you really got to pay attention to and listen to, and it's like very hard to do that at the moment. Like CNN is like the album I'm listening to now.
Yeah.
And C-SPAN and stuff like that. But you know, I'm always listening to Nas, you know. New York State of Mind, come on. I might even listen to Frank Sinatra. I might listen to the Frank Sinatra version. And I'm trying to think, well, I've been listening to like Conway and stuff like that. But like, trying to keep it gangster. Listen to something.
Right. Nah, man, we got to keep the spirit up. You know,
so
we're taking all the positive vibe bags, tricks out the bag. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen, I'm sitting in Brooklyn right now, so of course I'm listening to Big.
Sure.
You know, it's normal stuff, you know. Joey Badass. Some of my guys, you know.
That's dope.
Yeah,
so,
that's what's up, man.
You know, before we get out of here, you know, just want to know what's your message to all your fans and followers and anybody who knows you, man. What's your message to the people that are watching?
Oh man, I mean, my message to anybody that I'm around is yo, keep it positive. Keep a positive mental attitude, man. We're going to get through all of this. Life is going to be better on the other side. There's going to be some ups and downs. And, you know, listen, and just real talk, every day is can't stop, won't stop. That's what it is, man. You know, we are all in this together. We're going to have to figure it out. You know, and listen, don't be mad. You're going to hear stories of somebody getting rich on the stock market and somebody just going broke on the stock market, man. Let's just all try to get through this together and we'll figure it all out, man. And I think, you know, as far as New York is concerned right now, at the moment, the current moment, this second, I think they're passing some good laws that are going to help some people out. Let's hope the federal government steps up and gets involved. And you know what, man? Something that I haven't been very active in doing my entire life, but reach out to your politicians, man. Put pressure on people, man. Don't be afraid to pick up a phone call and just make a call and say, yo, what is going on? We need support. We need help. It might go a long way. You never know.
Absolutely. Every bit counts, you know?
Yes, that's it.
So with that, John, man, I really appreciate you for taking the time.
Oh, thank you, Los, man. Great to see you, man.
Likewise. And after all this is over, I'm coming over. You know what I mean? Some of that good sweet chick, bro.
You already know, man. I got you, bro. Free chicken and waffles for Los when I see you next.
I'll let your boy, man. John, man. All the best to you and your family. All love, my brother. I'm going to hit you, all right?
Peace.
All right.
Later.